The nightcap from the West Coast here from the Stanford Regional, Utah taking on the 3-seed and defending national champion Stanford Cardinal. And we are underway from Stanford, and already the Cardinal quick to jump on the scoreboard first. Compliments of one of those seniors we just mentioned, Jenna Gray.
Compliments of a great serve there from Sydney Wilson from the service line. That makes it look easy when you can put the ball in play like that. Good things will follow.
And Zoe Weatherington, the Pac-12 all-freshman team selection, gets it going out of North Carolina. This Utah group finished third in the Pac-12, as you mentioned, a program best 14 wins in the conference. They come in on a 5-match winning streak. And off the slide, there's that middle blocker from Austin, Texas, Holly Campbell. On her home city and state, the Longhorns went down against unseeded Louisville, and now the Utah Utes are looking to be another unseeded team to take down a ranked foe.
Kerber with a nice swing from the right side. Of course, Utah, one of only 3 unseeded teams in this round of 16. Louisville upset Texas, as you mentioned, to move on. And moments ago, it was Cincinnati in 5 sets, falling to Penn State, so they will not play Cinderella, but Utah still has the chance.
Adriana Fitzmorris from the attack. And then Danny Drews, the lefty, a couple of lefties on the outside for Utah. Drews again, once more, adjusting. Morgan hits who can get to just about every ball. Doesn't see that one stay in play. Good effort. Utah takes a 3-2 lead.
Acrobatic move there by Drews to even get in position with that left arm to take a swing at the ball. She does a great job getting her feet there and then going with the angle shot that was given to her.
Senior libero Brianna Dorman on the serve. Gray sets up Fitzmorris again. And the block on that left side with Fitzmorris, and Campbell is there to deny it.
Fitzmorris staying on the left pin as she primarily swings from the right side, but that time as the ball crossed over the net, she stayed at the left pin. Catherine Plummer stayed at the right pin. Makes no difference. They're both a huge, formidable block.
2-time National Player of the Year, Catherine Plummer, number 2 in white, and out of the middle, number 12 in red. That's Berkeley Oblak.
Injured a season ago, an elbow injury sidelined her, and she decided to come back for her 5th season, her redshirt year, and aren't they glad she did? Not just because of play like that, but they've really pointed to her as the leader on this team.
Nice dig there by Kerber, overpass, play at the net, Campbell. And Drews with that wicked left hand, did you see it? Just walked down the net, Missy.
Only a left-handed player from the left side can pull off a shot like that, but I'm not sure that many left-handed players could do it. That was incredible off the hand of Danny Drews.
Kinsey Kerber, another southpaw, averaging 3 kills a set with the serve. McClure going at it. That one bounces off the pin after the block touch from Stanford, and Utah gets the point. A 5-1 run to open things up here in the first against the Cardinal. The overpass taken care of right there by Danny Drews, the kills leader for the Utes.
How about the 1-2 punch? Kerber with the serve from the service line that creates havoc, and her partner in crime, the other lefty on this team, Danny Drews, finishes it off.
Here's Gray to make it McClure, and on the block, and it bounces out of bounds, and Stanford gets the point. The Cardinal, the Pac-12 champions, coming in, having won 13 straight matches. Morgan Hintz, the dynamic libero for Stanford with the serve. Oblad handles it right there. Kerber on the ground to get it. Here's Danny Drews right to Hintz. Utah doubles their lead.
Interesting, Tiffany. This Utah team has never been past this round, the regional semifinal round. They're taking on Stanford, the team who has more national titles than any other, and yet they have not flinched. And you have to wonder, with it being an opponent that they regularly face in conference play, if it takes a little of the mystique away from the match. They don't look nervous at all on the stage.
Well, I'll tell you this, Kevin Hambley talked about that match back on October 20th against this group and said, look, we took them to 5 sets, or they took us to 5 sets, but they should have won it. Utah had the opportunity to win it with 2 match points and couldn't close out Stanford.
Here at Stanford, they lost in 5. As we said, they had those 2 match points in the 5th set. Plummer, however, was not available for Stanford in that match.
A timeout taken by Stanford, and we will step aside as well as Utah up big over Stanford in the regional final. Cruz kept the hand on Weatherington off the block. And pushed over by Alan Gates. Stanford's head coach, Kevin Hambley, in his 3rd season. You see the impressive record that he has compiled since being here in Palo Alto. And this is a group where he says, you know, things just kind of take care of themselves with this group. This is a seasoned bunch with those 4 seniors.
And as you see, he's just here in his 3rd season. So this senior class has actually won a national title under 2 different head coaches. As freshman under Coach John Gunning, and then last year under Coach Kevin Hambley and Weatherington. Big swing on the left side. What a great addition she has been to this Utah team.
Weatherington, who comes out of Mint Hill, North Carolina. Mom's a Division I volleyball coach at UNC Charlotte, and just mishit there by Catherine Plummer. And you referenced earlier that Plummer was missing in that first match between these 2 teams here in Maples Pavilion, and Beth Lanier was thankful that she wasn't on the court, because the second time around it was a little different for the group as Stanford took care of business in 4. Great save there by Sage Aina Torres, the setter, but the point goes to the Cardinal. Catherine Plummer then returns to the lineup in their next meeting in November. It was a different story. She was out for 10 matches with an undisclosed injury, returned back on November 7th against Arizona State, and they haven't lost since.
And with Madeline Gates on the floor in the middle right now for Stanford, that UCLA transfer, there are at times on the floor 6 All-Americans for this Stanford team. It is just amazing. And of course, when Plummer's on the floor, you have the 2-time ABCA National Player of the Year. This roster has some heavy, heavy hitters. And yet Stanford said they knew that in this matchup against Utah, it would be a lot like last year in the tournament when they had to play Washington State, a team they were very familiar with, and a team who was hot and physical at the right time. And that's exactly what they expected from Utah.
But you think it may be only a matter of time if you're a Stanford fan before Catherine Plummer and company wakes up. They're trailing by 3 early on. Jenny Drews tried to go right down the middle, but unsuccessful with that Stanford block.
And you see the respect that Stanford has for the swing of Drews, as they have 3 blockers up to defend the back row attack, and they do so very successfully.
4-0 run for Stanford. McClure on the serve. Aina Torres setting up Weatherington once more. There goes the block from Stanford. Utah takes the timeout. The fans inside Maples Pavilion say, come on, Stanford, let's go.
Madeline Gates with the easy move to her right alongside Jenna Gray. You see the great pressure over the net there in the 3-time Pac-12 selection, twice as a sophomore and junior at UCLA, and now as a Stanford Cardinal, making her presence known in this one.
And joining a a group and a program that has had such a storied history. You mentioned the most national championships of any program with 8. They have accumulated so many superlatives over the years. It just goes without saying that when you put on a Stanford uniform, you expect to be at this point and beyond defending or vying for a national championship.
Yeah, you know, Catherine Plummer said that the legacy she hoped to leave is one of excellence, and they certainly have done that. Coach Handley was interesting. He said he thinks one of the big legacies this senior class leaves, though, is just in the day-to-day, the way they handle themselves, the way that they have shown the younger players how hard you have to work, and what you have to do to be prepared day in and day out. I thought that was really interesting. For him, it wasn't about the excellence and the trophies, but about the way they approach life day in and day out, and the way they approach their preparation for the games.
It's been an incredible standard of players like Megan McClure, who comes in her junior campaign with the Stanford Cardinal, can continue on. She's a player that kind of just does all the little things, a little bit of everything.
Because she completely understands her role and the fact that it really is to do a little bit of everything, that's why she's an All-American. She understands her role so well on this team.
Weatherington from that left pin gets it to dribble down off the Stanford block.
Does a great job of avoiding the hands of Gates there at the net, swings into Jenna Gray and gets it to fall.
Here's Gray to Plummer, and Plummer just demolishes it there.
And while Utah has faced Stanford twice, they have only faced Catherine Plummer once, and that was in the most recent meeting at Utah. And in that meeting, Stanford, of course, was able to finish them off in 4 sets with the help of Catherine Plummer.
The addition of a player like Catherine Plummer is so important to this Stanford group. 3-time first-team All-American. And number 2 in white goes up at it again. Deep corner pocket, and it falls.
Senior to senior, Jenna Gray not afraid to feed her a couple times in that long rally, and it certainly pays off. Floats one right past Holly Campbell, and Catherine Plummer to the corner.
Sydney Wilson, the junior DS out of Toronto, into the net. And the error gives Utah the point. Megan Yeth, the sophomore out of Idaho, started in 17 of 31 matches as a freshman. Now finds her way consistently on the court, and that one was just hammered into the court.
Wow, sometimes that's all you can say when you're watching the play of Catherine Plummer. We need not explain why she is the 2-time National Player of the Year.
She also won the National Freshman of the Year in 2016. So many accolades going to several players for the Stanford Cardinal. And Danny Drews says, you know what, well, I'm the Pacific South region Player of the Year because I get up just like that.
And an important answer, I feel like, from Drews right there because of that huge swing from Catherine Plummer and the momentum and the crowd's reaction to it. I think that was a big answer from Drews.
Jenna Gray setting up the middle. Campbell could attack from Campbell. More minutes. Upset. And Oblad wanted it to be in, it bounces out.
That was about as close as they come, and you saw Oblad immediately turn to the line judge, open for the call to be in. That was Plummer again from the right pin, as she is so comfortable from either side.
Herbert taking a hack at it, Vince going flying for it, couldn't get to it in time. But anybody who watches volleyball can always appreciate efforts like this.
And I'll tell you, when no one else in the gym thinks it's playable, don't tell Morgan Hicks, because she believes every ball is playable, and that's exactly why she's the All-American leader that she is. She said that someone told her once, if you don't go, you'll never know.
Aina Torres was quickly there, nobody in side on the other side, 17-14 Utah. Kerber, who had 13 kills in that match against Illinois. Second kills leader on the team, and that one goes long. We're out of Chino Hills, California, a partner, Danny Drews from Sandy, Utah. Tough serve from Morgan Hintz. Free ball opportunity, Dorman pushes it over. Middle, dug out there by Dorman. Nice way to keep it alive. Good defense from the Utes. McClure, Dorman again. Oblad sends it too long, and they say the point goes to Utah off the touch, and credit number 17 in black, the libero for Utah.
Dorman again and again and again. 3 huge digs that rally, literally off of free balls sent over to Stanford that you think, okay, this is a definite point, and Dorman keeps them in it.
Fitzmaurice comes right back and gains a point for the Cardinal. She rotates out, and in to serve for her is Kate Formico. Formico, the junior out of Saratoga, California. It's because it's with 4-time Olympian and Stanford Hall of Famer, Kerry Walsh-Jennings.
This is a match where you are going to have to earn points. So every point given away, wow, take advantage of a point given away.
And I'll tell you this, we're sitting near the fans from Salt Lake City. They came to cheer on their Utes, and right now, they're up 20-16 here at Maples Pavilion to another national championship.
Another good serve by Oblad, an ace moments ago before that timeout.
On the back row attack, there's Danny Drews. The left hand, and Ka'aina Torres saw it just bounce off of her. Again, great defense, great reaction time on both sides. Free ball from Oblad. Center's done.
Oblad, the middle blocker, and left back for that half rotation before the libero switch. And she's not letting balls hit the ground. She's playing defense as well. Huge dig from Oblad. It goes over the net, unfortunately, and that's going to be another free ball opportunity for Stanford. Jenna Gray capitalizes with that second ball over.
On the slide, first swing there from Phoebe Grace. Grace, the sophomore, redshirt sophomore out of Hawaii.
Grace, not a player who is certainly going to get the most looks on this Utah team, but coming up big when they do call on her just to keep that offense balanced, and she provides good blocking for them across the net as well.
Gates, the All-American, as you mentioned, who finished 3 years at UCLA and has come over to this Stanford program and contributed in a big way from her middle blocker position.
You better believe she's motivated. We talk about the number of national championships that these Stanford players have, but she wants to put one in her bag as well.
Sydney Wilson. Serves it up again. Play at the net, kept alive by Dorman. Weatherington pushes it over. Right down that seam, couldn't get to a nice cross-court shot from Catherine Plummer.
Her ability to go off blockers' hands, that high, flat swing, just undefendable. As you see the backcourt defense as they just, grimace. That ball out of reach over their head.
Attack here for Weatherington. 4-0 run for Stanford to tie the score at 21 even. Well, the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship coverage continues with the National Championship Saturday, December 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. What an opening regional semifinal day of volleyball. You look on the other side of the bracket in Waco and Madison, the #1 overall seed Baylor Bears, going further than they ever have in program history. Another first for them and a career day for Marika Vandermark, 16 kills. Meanwhile, an all Big Ten matchup down in Madison as the Badgers will face off against the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
And you see that Washington has already advanced to the round of 8. There has been at least one Pac-12 team in every round of 8 of the tournament this year. It will be 2, as one of these here tonight will move on along with Washington.
Coverage kicks off tomorrow at 4 Eastern on ESPN-U.
Stanford all-time is 18-2 versus Utah. And realize the last time Utah defeated Stanford was in 2016 here in Maples Pavilion. So this is a big obstacle in the way for Utah, not just because of the fact that this is such a talented Stanford team, but this is something they have not been able to overcome.
And a back row. Big kill there from Danny Drews. We saw Utah get out to a 4-point lead, their largest in this first set, and then Stanford comes back and ties it. This is going to be a tightly contested match all throughout. It's what we expect at least. Big solo block all by herself, #1 in red. Danny Drews on the block.
All kinds of offensive highlights. How about some defensive highlights as well? All alone on that slide from Campbell, and she puts it away.
Second block for the Utes. Gray to Campbell. And just a little hesitation. That back row defense for Utah. The point goes to Stanford.
And I always appreciate a setter who goes right back to a miss. You know, so the connection from Campbell on the previous play was a stuff block for Utah. She goes right back to her. Campbell comes through.
And the setter's mindset, Missy, is, of course, you played at the University of Florida and a setter there. Why that decision?
Sometimes I think it has to do with the confidence of that attacker. And sometimes because you think the defense doesn't expect it. They don't expect you to go right back to it after a miss. So if you have the confidence in that play and you're willing to do it, it can pay off.
Well, Danny Drews giving her team set point here against the defending national champion Stanford Cardinal. Fitzmorris dug out by Dorman. Here's Kerber. Again, Drews going at it once more. Morgan Hintz saves it. Out of the middle, Oblad, hand on it. Hintz kept it alive. Drews off the hands. First set goes to Utah. The unseeded Utes come on the court here in Maples Pavilion and grab the opening frame. Stanford and Utah's Pac-12 sisters in Washington making their first regional final appearance since 2016. Stanford with the first point of the second set.
And some could argue that Utah could have the toughest road to the national semifinals when you take a look at the fact that they had to defeat 2 semifinalists from a year ago in Illinois and BYU. They were down 1 set to 2 against Illinois, trailing 14-17 in the fourth. They had to come back and win that one. And then, of course, the very next night, take on BYU, their in-state foe. They've lost 9 of the last 10 to BYU. 4 straight. They had been swept by BYU the year before in the second round on BYU's road to the national semifinals, but not this year. Utah prevails in a really huge way, 25-15, 15-15 that victory.
I think you talk about so much how home court plays a factor in how well you play. Think about Texas and that snap game streak. BYU, who hadn't lost on their home court since 2011, and here at Maples Pavilion, where the Stanford Cardinal are among the best, and they don't lose at home very often.
Kevin Hambley actually 43-2 at Maples, Tiffany. That's during his time here. So impressive.
Kerber down the seam.
And so when Utah shows up tonight and doesn't flinch against the defending national champion, there's a reason why. They have been tested in this tournament. It's hard to believe they finished third in the Pac-12 and don't get to play at home the first weekend. And I think they played with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because of that when they traveled down to BYU. Put them away in such a dominating fashion.
That was one of the things that Kinsey Kerber talked about, was the fact that they had this fire in them to avenge that earlier season loss. And she said, look, we weren't going down without a fight. And they have put up some really good fights all season long. They did so back on October 20th right here in Maples Pavilion, and now they're leading in this match with a chance to advance their first ever regional final. Tooling the hands. And Utah right now, offensively, defensively, just clicking.
And to add to your point of the Utah fight, Tiffany, this is a team who is 6-6 in 5 setters. And I think my favorite thing about this Utah team, they have not been swept yet this season. And it won't happen again tonight because they've already taken the first set against Stanford. So this is a team who finds ways to win. They are a feisty group, and they certainly are leaving it all on the court here at Maples.
There's Drews. Plummer is 6'6", able to get a hand on it, hence sending a free ball over. Drews once more. And Danny Drews said, I came to play today, tonight, 9 kills.
And this is the result of the fact that Stanford was not able to get a swing in an out-of-system situation. Jenna Gray hung one up in the air, but it sailed past Catherine Plummer. Hence had to send over a free ball, and Utah capitalizes on that. One of the things that Stanford did so good in the second round against Cal Poly was their ability out of system to create good looks. That great communication, even when they were scrambling, they were able to kill balls out of system. They had assists from 5 different players that night, so a really good stat for them, and they're going to need that sort of performance against Utah again here.
Block, kept alive. Weatherington hits it over off that block touch and still plays. Once again, Jenna Gray, savvy move from the senior setter.
Gray so good at finding her timing in transition. And then to go over on 2 to catch that defense unaware.
You mentioned the Stanford team in their first and second rounds defeating Denver and Cal Poly by way of sweeps respectively. And then how about let's pump up the crowd right here. Jenna Gray on the block.
Jenna Gray, usually the accomplice to a kill, but this time is scoring a point of her own as she goes up and stuffs the swing of Weatherington.
4.5 team blocks for the home team. There's McClure. Assistant play. Drews out of the back row, hits, saving it, diving as she does always. Once more, pumped up, fired up. Let's go if you're a Stanford Cardinal.
See the dig here from Rhodes. Wow.
Jenna Gray. Once again, another block tonight. She's got 4. Her Stanford Cardinal leading. They're trying to even things up in this match. Stanford Cardinal, three-time Pac-12 champions in a row, facing off against their league foe Utah, who they bested twice in the regular season, and now the Utes up 1-0 in this regional semifinal. Just touched over. Dorman was right there. Drews out of the back row.
And that left hand, it can just catch you by surprise sometimes, coming out of the back row with the angles that she's able to create.
I think you may see one pin hitter that may be a lefty every once in a while, but to see two attackers.
The game looks a little different. The angles of the game look a little different. You had the lefty swing from the left and the right pin for Utah sometimes at the same time. It's just, and you can see right now the reason they're going to Drews so often out of the back row. They're trying to take a little pressure off of Zoe Weatherington, that freshman in left front who was blocked a couple times prior to the timeout, trying not to put too much pressure on her to set away from her again.
Phoebe Grace tries to go at Catherine Plummer, and Catherine Plummer says no ma'am.
And this is a really tough rotation for Utah. By far their weakest rotation offensively is they have Grace Weatherington up in the front row, both Kerber and Danny Drews in the back row. And so Stanford making every moment count in this rotation as they push for points.
Weatherington with a big rip at it, hits, kept it alive. Just touched over and hits, who covers a ton of court from her libero position. And Weatherington says, let's just end it all right here.
The heavy arm of Zoe Weatherington to finish things off. But it's the defense in this rally as Morgan and Hintz from coast to coast making plays.
She is by far one of the most exciting players to watch. It's been that way since her freshman season as Hintz checks out. But the Stanford Libero is a three-time Pac-12 Libero selection. Is just a highlight.
Yeah.
We always focus on the kills and the blocks, but it's those saves, it's those dives and those efforts that Hintz gives. That makes her so much fun to watch.
And maybe a mistake there by Catherine Plummer, but it works, and she'll take it as you see the little smile from her. And obviously, this Stanford team has Catherine Plummer, the two-time National Player of the Year, but go get yourself a libero and a setter and build a team around that. And when you have three-time Pac-12 Setter of the Year in Jenna Gray and three-time Pac-12 Libero of the Year in Morgan Hintz, it's a pretty good place to start.
Hintz will check back in as Drews registers the kill. She is pacing the way in this match for all attackers with 11 kills, taking a 391 clip. Holly Campbell gets the touch. Point Stanford. There's just such a luxury for Kevin Hamway to go to so many different players who have consistently racked up honors and awards, but who have a high volleyball IQ. That one set tight and that tough one still helped out by Drews. Here's Kerber. McClure is there to dig it out. Bump set from Dorman. Kerber again. Right to Gray. Out assistant play for Plummer, no problem. Catherine Plummer does it again.
It's going to be the finish from Plummer that scores the point, but early in that rally, Jenna Gray making a Hintz-type dig as she came flying in from the back row. And Jenna Gray, I read an article where she was talking about the fact that she said, you know, I feel like you have to go for every ball. You don't want to let Morgan down. Morgan thinks every ball is playable. When you're in a gym with her, she raises the level of play of those around her. Jenna said, you know, we all think we're competitive, but then we think about Morgan and we're like, well, are we?
Of course, Gray and Hintz, roommates. Very good friends.
4-year roommates.
4 years, yeah. Could you live? Well, I was gonna say, could you live with your teammate for all 4 years? Woo.
I think it is difficult because you never get a break from those people. You know, I mean, going to class is like a break for these student athletes. Think about that, the time that they spend together. I mean, it's an in-your-face relationship. And so, you know, I think obviously those are two personalities that really mesh. Those two seem to have a lot of fun together. They said their only argument is over sweet and saltiness. Jenna wants a sweeter popcorn and Morgan wants it to be salty. That's their big argument in life.
It's a good problem to have if you're only going to argue with your teammate, roommate, and friend about sweet and salty. Are you a sweet salty?
I'm sweet.
Sweet, okay.
How about you?
Well, we just shared a Snickers, so I mean, yeah. I'm with you on the sweet. Meanwhile, back in the match, Utah picks up the point, but Catherine Plummer and her team up 16-10, trying to even up the match rather. Molly Campbell in the middle. Good decision there by Jenna Gray to feed Campbell.
Yeah, I really like the decision because she's about a step off the net. So that's when the block starts to lean one way. Perhaps think you're going to go outside to the pin, and Jenna Gray just holds them right there in the middle.
Bumps in from Cajaino Torres. Fitzmorris over the head of Dorman. Adriana Fitzmorris, 4 kills in the match for the senior out of Overland Park, Kansas.
Another good choice by Jenna Gray as she's really starting to work it. From antenna to antenna, and you're starting to see the danger of this Stanford offense with so many options.
Gray already with 18 assists. Morgan Hintz plays it up. McClure pushes it over. Again, Stanford continuing to stand tall. They call this the farm, and they've got the trees here on campus. 8 blocks for the Cardinal. Well, Sunday on ESPN and the ESPN app, this one is Women's College Basketball Game of the Weekend. Number 14, Kentucky squares off against their bitter in-state rivals, the 7th-ranked Louisville Cardinals. Louisville's won the last 3 against the Cats, but you have to remember now, this is a team minus Asia Durr. But you've got a player in Dana Evans, Jasmine Jones, terrific. I can't wait to watch that matchup. Brian Howard, also excellent out of Kentucky, their sophomore. Perhaps being a running for the SEC Player of the Year. Meanwhile, back here at Maples Pavilion, Kevin Hambley, who's such a cool, calm, and collective coach, knows how to bring the best out of his players as they've awakened here in this second set.
And what an interesting position he was in when he took over this program from John Dunning. You know, a lot of people would think, well, gee, that's a program I want, a bunch of freshmen who just won the national championship, and yet how much pressure is on your shoulders when you take a group of freshmen who just won the national championship? Huge expectations for what he would accomplish here at the farm, and certainly he has lived up to those.
The great respect he has, as many around the volleyball community do, for John Dunning, the 32-year veteran, helped win 5 national championships with Stanford. Before that was at Pacific. Now the Utah Utes trying to come back. This is a group that joined the Pac-12 in 2011, and you said it before, Missy, 14 conference wins, the most they've seen in the league. Beth Lanier says, you know, this is a group that has just done a tremendous job working together.
And she's done a tremendous job herself. Pac-12 Coach of the Year. She was the Pac South Region Coach of the Year. This is her 18th 20-win season. And I think one of the things that surprised both of us is that Coach Lanier actually coached Danny Drew's mother. Hard to believe, but what a great career she has had at Utah. Of course, it's her first Pac-12 Coach of the Year, but she was the 3-time Mountain West Coach of the Year prior to joining the Pac-12.
Again, her team is trying to do the unthinkable and taking down another national semifinalist from a season ago. It just happens to be that Stanford, not only their conference foe, but also the defending national champions.
And they said their motto has been whoever, whenever, whatever it takes. And that's how they've had to play in this tournament against the likes of the opponents that they've faced.
But it's Stanford who comes roaring back in this second set to try to even up the match at 1 apiece. That's 3 out of 5. Weatherington going back to her again. She tried it on her last win, wasn't successful this time. She gets it to drop. She's an interesting story. The fact that her mom, Karen, is a coach at UNC Charlotte. She's a high school state champion coming out of North Carolina, and she's one of those players who just experienced that normal freshman roller coaster.
And even over the course of the match, you know, we saw them get stuck in that rotation earlier with her in left front, and yet what a great response that emotionally she hasn't allowed that to shake her and comes right back with some big kills in this set.
Grace attacking that Stanford block and not backing down. You sitting at a 270 clip as compared to 350 for Stanford in this match. Catherine Plummer, when you see it come off of her hand, you better watch out. Set point Stanford. Gray puts it up. Logan Hicks saves this one. Catherine Plummer tips it down. What a save there on the other side. The defense from both. Great rally. Hicks sends that one flying high, nearly into the rafters.
Hicks has her name all over this point.
Gabriella Fitzwallace finishes it off. The Maples Pavilion crowd here, loving the effort on both sides. Stanford, the 3 seed, tied with Utah at 1 apiece. So 5 blocks for Gray. I wanted to give her like a hot love. Natalie Gates actually paces the way with 8 blocks.
Still a pretty impressive number for a setter after 2 sets.
For sure. In that second set, Utah did not hit the ball particularly well. You speak to those errors of blocks and such. Meanwhile, Stanford had a 480 hitting efficiency, and Stanford sees their first point go off by way of Catherine Plummer. She's smiling.
And she does such a great job of not giving away her off-speed shots. Keeps that arm high, disguises it so well.
Adjusting was Danny Drews. Here's Catherine Plummer going at it, but Phoebe Grace and Zoe Weatherington denied her.
And add another block to that Utah total as they try to defensively get back into this one. That's the left hand of Phoebe Grace there, holding strong. what's interesting is I went to Catherine Plummer's bio to get a fresh look at her accolades. You know, you're thinking that National Player of the Year is going to lead the way, and that's actually kind of down the list. So she's also the Honda Award winner from a season ago, and the James E. Sullivan Award winner to the top amateur athlete in the country in 2 of the last 3 seasons. That award has gone to an NCAA volleyball player, Monica Ring of Wisconsin, 3 years ago taking that award, and then last year Catherine Plummer. That says a lot about college volleyball and the level of athletes who are playing the sport.
Obviously, she wants to continue her career. Perhaps has a chance with the U.S. Women's National Team, or maybe playing overseas. But Catherine Plummer is just one of those players who has come through the Stanford program that has seen some absolute greats, and a double contact called against the Cardinal.
And Catherine Plummer saying to Coach Handley, no, that was my jersey, which shouldn't count as a net violation. She immediately turned and said, I was not in the net and I drew my jersey. But at this point, so early in the set, Coach Handley says, I'm not going to use a challenge on that one quite yet. We're going to let it go.
Right there at the net, and Oblad, you see the aggressiveness out of the middle.
And she draws the back row block call on Jenna Gray, because Jenna Gray going up to the net, just trying to make a play on that ball unintentionally. Runs the back row block over, and Oblad takes the swing. So a really smart swing from Oblad.
Plummer sees it drop out of bounds. Stanford with the point. She goes back to serve now, and I think in that time where Stanford missed Plummer for those 10 matches with that injury, it was also an opportunity for the other players to show what they were made of and step up and have those moments. Kimber Kipp was, that player who stepped in for her, a freshman.
And interestingly, during that stretch of time, Kimber Kipp was actually hurt with the play through an injury. Megan McClure had a twisted ankle, never missed a match, but for about 2 weeks didn't practice. So they really had the Band-Aids on this thing at Stanford, and even during that time, I believe went 9-1 without Plummer and with a couple injured outside hitters. This is a team who probably is advantaged because you take a look at their pre-conference schedule, and it was brutal. Coach Handley did not rely on their finish in the Pac-12 to secure them an opportunity to host a regional. He went out and scheduled very tough in pre-conference to secure that regional host opportunity, and it certainly paid off.
Well, within the first couple of weeks, you have 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, they're just like, you keep counting off the number of ranked teams, whether it was Florida or Texas or Penn State, Minnesota, Nebraska, BYU. Yeah, you name it, they faced it.
And they said that during that time without Plummer, they had to sort of reinvent themselves, just throw everything out. How is this team going to score points? And they said they had to become a little more defensive and score points in transition. And I don't know, watching them here tonight with Morgan Hens, is it possible to become more defensive than Morgan Hens? How does that happen? But it is true, I understand when you don't have that first big swing inside-out play that you rely on in Catherine Plummer, you have to become a transition team. So a team that can transition from defense to offense, because you don't have that luxury right there to put balls away out of system all the time. And as you said, during that time, they leaned heavily on Megan McClure, and coaches said she might be one of the most underrated players, in this sport. And that you think at times, how is she on the floor for Stanford, an undersized outside hitter, and yet you can't afford to take her off the field. All the other things that she does so well, she really showed up for Stanford during that period of time.
We're talking Megan McClure, number 4 in white, the junior out of Rancho Santa Margarita, California. Cosida, academic All-American. What is Stanford doing a little bit better than Utah?
It's all the small things. It's the ball control that they're showing on their side of the net. even out of system, there's communication and control for them to get a good swing every rally. And how about what they're doing from the service line? Going back to the service line, putting tough balls in play that is not hard to set ever.
Formico gets that one to drop. Cardinal keep running off points. They're up by 3.
She can add to that list of accomplishments Stanford grad, because she is wrapping up her time here at Stanford this semester and will be headed overseas come January. How about Megan McClure over the net? Huge block for forward right there over on the left side. And she is that player who we say, sometimes you question, how is she on the floor, and yet how do you take her off the floor? That's how good Megan McClure has been for Stanford.
Sends it over. Weatherington. Ford takes a rip at it. Aina Torres sets up Danny Drews out of the back row. McClure again, and this time she puts some oof.
Aina Torres on the run after having to set a ball out of the back court, and barely they get back to the net in time to put a block up. And so Jenna Gray knows that, sends one right back to the side, giving Megan McClure a nice look at some open court.
Oblad gets it to drop off the hands of some Stanford players, and now she trots back behind the service line. Now this is one of those times where you look at a player like Berkeley Oblad and say, okay, that second set got away from us.
Right.
Let's recenter ourselves, get ready, come back here, trailing by 4.
And you know, I asked them, how were they able to stay so focused for an entire 3 sets against BYU, that 25-15, 15-15 win? And they compared it to the night before against Illinois, and they said they were truly active to their mistakes against Illinois. But against BYU, they had a what's next mentality. And that's what it's going to take here tonight. What's next? That second set is behind you. Move on. Next point, next point. That's how Utah's got to play.
And remember, for the Utes, they were swept in the second round of last year's tournament against those BYU Cougars, and now, for the first time in program history, making it to a regional semifinal.
It's a bit deflating to have that beautiful of a swing out of the back row from Drews, and yet the defense of Stanford, and it's not even hints, it's McClure back there, who could be a great libero herself, honestly, just digging balls out of middle back.
Again, going back to just the invaluable piece that she is to this Stanford group.
Coach Hamlin said, we understand her importance, and we understand her.
On the attack here, Stanford doubling their lead as McClure getting comfortable behind that service line.
Now we're going to see Megan yet in a bit early, as she's typically a back row sub for Zoe Weatherington. They're going to try her a few rotations early here and see if she can create some offense across the front row.
Couldn't get it past the high hands.
And it's the same rotation that created trouble last time, and Stanford having their way again in this rotation.
Utah.
Block help from left front as Catherine Plummer alongside Gates just leaves no space for that swing.
Well, Saturday afternoon on ESPN and the ESPN app, we've got a great men's college basketball doubleheader for you. It's starting off with a bit of rivalry between Penny Hardaway's 13th ranked Memphis Tigers and Rick Barnes' 19th ranked Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville at 3 p.m. Eastern. Then John Calipari and the 8th ranked Kentucky Wildcats hosting Georgia Tech in Rupp Arena down in Lexington. Coverage begins at 5 Eastern. You can always catch it on the ESPN or the ESPN app. Penny Hardaway is one of those fun stories in college basketball. He's returned to his hometown, and what he's done with a very young group of all 5 freshmen. You think about the 5 freshmen for Stanford back in 2016, and they did the unthinkable. They were the 6th seed, and they went on to win their 7th national title for the Stanford Cardinals.
Had to go on the road for a regional that year. Not a top 4 seed, upset Wisconsin at Wisconsin, surprised a lot of people, and then went on to win the entire thing. This group of seniors has a career record of 117 and 16. And realize 7 of those losses came in their freshman season. So since their freshman season, sophomore, junior, senior year, they have lost a total of 9 matches. They have 3 Pac-12 titles to show for their efforts, 2 NCAA titles already. Could there be a 3rd?
It's unreal.
Yeah. And then you add Madeline Gates to the crowd this year, and it just doesn't seem fair. Are you kidding me? Look at the slide play from Madeline Gates.
Gates, who, as we mentioned, has been an excellent addition. Her younger brother, Nathaniel, suits up for Stanford men's volleyball as a freshman.
And Adriana Fitzmaurice has a brother who's on the basketball team.
I think what we enjoy doing is, in our preparation, learning about all the different connections of, you know, how you come from an athletic family. On the other side, Danny Drews, who, that's just a long lineage right there. Mother, brother, father, everybody. Just seeing
both brothers. And not only are they athletic, every single one of them has played athletics at Utah. Mom played volleyball and basketball. Dad played basketball and football. 2 brothers who played football for Utah and now play in the NFL. And the scary thing is they all say the youngest one who's yet to come is the best. Hard to imagine.
I wonder what Thanksgiving, Christmas, or just an everyday family dinner is not going to be.
I'd say it's competitive in some way, shape, or form. Madeline Gates again just executing the slide to absolute perfection.
She rotates out, hitting at a 583 clip. 11 blocks tonight to go along with 7 kills. Second contact. Bump set. Megan Yet gets it over. And Catherine Plummer approaches. Right back, drops it. And now it's starting to feel carrying over from that second set, that it's a little cruise control for Stanford.
And I love the constant smile on Catherine Plummer's face. As, she's had several questions over the last couple of weeks about her time at Stanford coming to an end. Is not only is her volleyball career ending, but as we mentioned, she's graduating. And she said, I just want to cherish every good time. I want to enjoy it. And it certainly looks like she's doing that.
Graduating with a degree in human biology. And what we enjoy doing is, just going down the list of all the different majors for the students here at Stanford. Stanford with another point here.
And again, there's rotations that are just creating a lot of issues for Utah. They've now got Weatherington back on the floor as they were having Yet stay in right front, and they were asking Corver to swing from left front, doing something a little different as they just are having a hard time siding out with Drews in the back row.
And it continues. This is a dominating performance for Stanford in this 3rd set after Utah snagged the opening set.
And remember, when Utah came to Stanford and pushed them to 5 sets earlier this year, that was without Catherine Plummer on the floor. Then in the return trip to Utah, it took 4 sets for Stanford to win with Catherine Plummer.
And Catherine Plummer is just absolutely going off.
It's a clinic. If you're a young outside hitter, sit down and take notes. She is amazing.
And Weatherington sees that one drop, and the point goes for Utah. Yet rotates in. She'll go back to serve. Kevin Hamlin, meanwhile, cracking a smile. Too strong from Holly Campbell. But did you see Jenna Gray go down to really lift that one up and give her middle blocker an opportunity to take a good swing at that one?
Jenna Gray is so good at her job that there's times that she's not noticed because the ball is always where it needs to be. I think, you know, when the setter is not on, they're really noticeable because you're thinking, oh, that set's off, they can't even take a swing at that. But when you do your job so well all night, as Jenna Gray has done, sometimes you just lose track of the setter. The ball is constantly in position for her team, not just to take a swing, but they're killable sets every time.
7-point Stanford here from Maples Pavilion. Gray on the serve. Here's Drews. Dug out by Yet. Drews again on the attack. Stanford up 2-1 in this regional semifinal.
Cardinal got cruise control going into this fourth set behind the play of Catherine Plummer, and Coach Handley said prior to this one, two foes that are so familiar, it would all come down to execution, and Stanford executed nearly perfectly in sets 2 and 3. A miss to start set 4, that could be a good sign for Utah. They'll take that point.
The Utes we talked about coming in, they're seeking their first ever regional final appearance. They've made it to this point 2 times over the last 3 years. They came here to Stanford, faced off against Texas before falling to the Longhorns in 2017.
And Maples has been a bit painful for them as that Texas loss. They said there's a couple points they'd like to have back from that one. They're looking forward to a do-over, and that's how they took the court with a vengeance as they came out in set 1 swinging. But Stanford answered the call and was playing like national champions in sets 2 and 3. That ball from Hintz on that last dig hits the scoreboard on its way over, and that's considered out of bounds. If it comes back to your side and you have another play, you can make another play on that ball, but it can't travel over the net.
Fitz Morris runs into the block of Old Lad, but it goes out of bounds. Stanford tying it up.
Fitz Morris, I feel like we've barely mentioned her name. She's a 3-time Pac-12 selection, a 3-time All-American, by the way, folks. And we've barely said her name. This is a team full of All-Americans.
Drews on the other side, who has had quite a record-breaking season and career thus far.
There's a big Drews rib with that left hand, just finding her way right around the block as she drops one inside that left hand of Campbell.
She's the first ever player to the 600 kill mark, 2 consecutive seasons with 500 plus. She and Adora Anai, former youth, both have done it. And the service ace for Kinsey Kerber. Kerber, who is an all-around contributor for the Utes, helps her team jump out to a 3-point lead.
A couple early attack errors for Stanford, maybe opening the door for this Utah team to feel like they can climb back into this one.
Roll off the hands Aina Torres going over on 2. Good defense by both sides, just better by Utah on that point.
Oblad back at it at the net for Utah. As it looks like she's going to be late on that. She just doesn't give up, reaches into the seam.
Early timeout in set number 4, Utah leads. Jim Valvano, the legendary North Carolina State basketball coach and ESPN commentator. Meanwhile, back here, Maples Pavilion, Utah out of the break with a 6-2 lead. Over the Stanford Cardinal, trying to work their way back into this match and perhaps extend it to a 5th set. 5-setters are kind of what they do.
Yeah, the magnitude.
They've seen 12 this season. They hope to get it there. And plays like that fall in their favor will help get them closer.
And Drew's really having to battle as they've got that Fitzmaurice-Drews matchup going. It's hard to find the floor around that big block of Fitzmaurice, but Utah just keeps coming at you.
Kerber on the serve into the net. And guess who is rotating back in? That's Madeline Gates, number 15 in white. She's at the front, standing at the net, 11 blocks tonight for Gates.
Not to mention 7 kills without a single error. Gates hitting 583.
Running to that one, tight to the net. McClure with the joust, and Oblad just took a wild swing there.
Are you kidding me? That looked like nothing but trouble. How do you make something good out of that mess? But Megan McClure goes up with the strong push. That was impressive.
Hits on the serve. And that block once more coming through for the Cardinal. This time it's Fitzmaurice.
And this is the matchup that the Cardinal wants. Fitzmaurice on Drews, the big block there, taking away the swing of the lefty.
Couldn't handle that one from Drews.
And you see how hard Drews has to work for that sharp angle to get it around Fitzmaurice. And then the immediate communication there between Fitzmaurice and Catherine Plummer as Fitzmaurice is looking for feedback from her back row about her block setup and how she can do it better. That's what's amazing about this group of seniors. Always learning, always looking to get better. Here we are in postseason their senior year. And you gotta love that communication. On the court as Fitzmaurice is really battling up there at the net. We haven't called her name a lot offensively because really I think her primary assignment tonight is to block against Drews. And that's really what they're asking from her.
Coming in and diving for it was Dorman. There's Oblad on the slide.
When they were trailing against Illinois in that 4th set, Coach said there was a moment where Berkeley just cleared everyone out and came in for a back row attack. She said it was just a big leadership moment, like watch out, I'm gonna take care of this. Put the team on her back and move them to victory.
Well, Adriana Fitzmaurice took care of business before she rotated out. Now Formico serves it up. And the service error gives Utah the point, but back to the leadership of Oblad and the fact that we mentioned earlier, she only played a limited number of matches last year because of an elbow injury, decides to return for her 5th year. And what she has done as a veteran has just been great all season long to help this program reach high heights.
She's the team block leader, 3rd in kills, but the 4th in program history to reach the 1,000 kill, 500 block mark. I mean, that's a pretty substantial mile.
Wetherington on the kill. You know, we asked the question yesterday about how Wetherington, a freshman from North Carolina, found her way to Salt Lake City, Utah. We said, well, the associate head coach, Blair Shoji, her father actually coached Zoe's mother, Karen.
Another one of those volleyball connections. And you take a look at her roster, you notice all these West Coast players, and you say, wait a minute, how did she end up in Utah? And there's always an interesting backstory.
Wetherington with the touch punched over. Kerber to McClure. Plummer blocked by Utah. Danny Drews out of the back row, and what an effort from Sydney Wilson, but the defense, the reaction time, and then Catherine Plummer finishes it off.
By the way, Stanford has 18 and a half blocks. We're in set 4, 18 and a half blocks. And here's one from Catherine Plummer right back at you. Utah 4 blocks on the match.
Well, that's one way that you can try to compete with the size. You just hit it in between there and there. Kerber was able to do so.
Deep corner by Kinsey Kerber, and I think they've really got to get her going. She's definitely that 1-2 punch of offense along with Drews, who can make Utah so dangerous.
Approach, and again, it was Kerber along with Grace, who was there along that right side to anticipate the swing from Plummer.
And the harder you hit it, the harder it comes back at you.
Kerber out of Chino Hills, California, also a beach volleyball player.
Another thing that Catherine Plummer happens to do very well, by the way, for adding to her list.
Great effort there by Aina Torres. That pancake save, but it doesn't matter because Catherine Plummer
pick up on the tip shot by Aina Torres. Gets a second opportunity, and this time makes sure it counts.
Again, you just leave it with because Catherine Plummer.
Yeah, exactly.
Dot, dot, dot. Ellipsis follow. 20 kills now for her. Over again. Well, 2 Cardinal defenders trying to get to it. It goes off the floor.
So she is getting going just a little bit. Kinsey Kerber could be the punch of offense that these Utes need.
In the middle, that block there is Oblad and Kerber. So we continue to call Kerber's name. And again, we've said she's an all-around contributor for the Utes.
And now 5 blocks for Utah as they try to make a stand. Excuse me, 6. That last is now 6 blocks for Utah as they try to make a stand defensively. But Stanford 18 and a half so far in the match. Realize those are stuffed blocks. All these block touches that we're seeing in the net are not registered as blocks. So those are blocks that actually end a rally.
Oblad, who was quickly there. Nice reaction time out of the middle. Berkeley Oblad pushes her team to a 16-10 advantage. The Utah fans are right behind us, and they are wrapped up. Well, the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship coverage continues with the National Championship Saturday, December 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. And the Utes, they can help it. They're saying, we want to go to a 5th set. We've done so 12 times before this season. We're an even 500, but we don't mind fighting.
And the interesting thing about the sport of volleyball, for as ugly as sets 2 and 3 may have been, Utah falling 25-14, 25-10, Stanford just dominating those sets. It is a fresh slate come set 4, and you just never know what can happen.
Beth Lanier wants to see if her team has enough fight to finish and advance their first ever regional final. If they can come back in this one, they've won 10 out of the last 12, including 5 in a row. And they took down some very good teams to get here in the first and second rounds. Illinois and BYU. Do they have enough to slay the 2018 Giants of a season ago in Stanford?
Not a great pass there by Catherine Plummer, really Jenna Gray's only offensive option. And it's a bit of an out-of-system swing, just wide by Catherine Plummer, a very rare error, and Utah needs to capitalize.
You know what's crazy, Missy, is the fact that obviously at this point of the season you expect it, but this is the volleyball that you have been treated to all match long, all day long, and it's only going to continue until tomorrow. Quick discussion here from the officials about whether that was touched or not. The point is awarded to Stanford, and it's reversed, and Utah grabs the point.
For some reason, the up official was confused with the communication he had with the 2 line judges, so to his credit, he calls them over to make sure they're all on the same page, gets their decision on the lines, and goes with their call.
Kevin Cole, the up official for tonight, and the block touch, and it drops in. Let me tell you, Utah is giving Stanford a taste of their own medicine for what they just did a set ago.
Defense getting it done for Utah. Look at the block numbers rising in this 4th set. Utah now up to 7 blocks, and look at the score, leading by 9.
On a 6-0 run, but it was ended there.
And actually, they had another great block touch that would have allowed them to transition that ball. The blockers, Dana Drews, just couldn't find it. Often it's the blocker who can't see where it goes off of her own hands. The backcourt players were trying to let him know, but Drew's unable to find that one.
Hence to Gray, and now Fitzmorris. Kerber attacks and drops. 2011 Utah.
What a trip across the front row for Kenzie Korber, getting it done with some blocking at the net, some offense to finish it off, and now she'll head back to serve.
We hear and ask this question all the time about adjustments, but defensively, what is it that Utah has done? Is the light bulb just going on? Do they feel that sense of desperation, or backs are against the wall?
So often blocking comes in little stretches, and it comes late in the match, because realize this is only the second time, excuse me, that they've seen Plummer, not the 3rd time. So they hadn't defended Plummer quite as much, although they defended her over the course of her career. She's such a hard player to defend that it takes you about a set and a half to catch up with her and what she's doing. And you're just trying to slow that swing down. You know that there's going to be a lot of times that you're not stopping it, but if you can just get a touch on it. And at the same time, they're catching up with the swings of some of these other great Stanford players, and so the blocking is starting to come along as the match goes on.
Back row attack called on Stanford.
Again, Jenna Gray, that back row setter up at the net, doing her best to make a play on the ball, becomes that back row block.
Weathering Washington pushes it down to Gray.
And who would have thought, after the domination of Stanford in the second and third set, could Utah regroup? Could they take the court again and pull things together? And they certainly have.
Top of the hour. I see Whittemore, Tiffany Green with you from the Stanford Regional. At set point, Utah is just within one of pushing this to a 5th set in this regional semifinal against the 3 seed and defending national champions.
Great poise on the part of freshman Zoe Wetherington out there in left front for Utah. She has certainly been tested and challenged against some of the nation's best, just holding her own.
And the service ace! It's 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 local time. Are you tired, folks? We're not. We're going to a 5th set. Utah closed out the set on a 12-2 run, and the Utes are loving it here from Maples Pavilion. Morgan hits, Jenna Gray, along with Adriana Fitzmaurice, and diving forward, sacrificing her body, was one of the Utah players who went to the bench. A hustle hard there. And a player is currently injured. She is slumping over as she went to go try to play that ball towards the bench, and it's Kinsey Kerber.
And she did play that ball. She brought it back into play, and the coaches had cleared the way for her to go make a play on that ball. So you know they're feeling extremely concerned right now, as they were the ones who kind of said to her, yes, yes, you know, telling her she had space to make a play on that ball. But I think it was the way in which she went over that chair, and she's up, and great response from the fans here at Naples.
She's shaking her head, saying that she's okay, she's back on the court. What a fighter, how tough is Kinsey Kerber?
And here she goes, over the chair. Wow.
She gets it in serve, receive, then goes up, flying attack, and comes back with the first kill for Utah in set 5.
And a bit of an awkward landing, as you can tell. She's not comfortable, but she's also not comfortable leaving this match. She is going to give it everything she's got.
She is ready to gut it out as the junior has 11 kills, 14 digs, another double-double tonight for Kerber. Right to Dorman, and flies out of play.
And the foreshadowing from Coach Kevin Hamble, as he talked about the fact that these are two very familiar foes, and he said this would be like an NBA Finals match, so familiar with one another that it would come down to execution. And here we are in set 5. It feels like a game 7.
Indeed, the first to 15, you have to win by 2. Kerber once more trying to take a rip at him, but out of bounds. Kerber says it was in. Remember, Beth Lanier does have challenges at her disposal, and she uses one.
I'll tell you, in basketball, though, as we continue our analogy to that game 7, and here we're going to get another look at this Kerber swing. Did that catch a piece of the line? Wow.
If it touches any piece of the line, it is considered in. And from that initial angle, I would say, yes, it did.
And interestingly, you can have a bad quarter in basketball, but you got to carry those points with you to the next quarter. You can't erase a quarter. Volleyball is so interesting in that you can flush a bad set, and if you can mentally move on to the next set, it's an open door. Clean slate, and Utah played with a clean slate in set 4. Can they carry that momentum to set 5 after just getting absolutely routed in sets 2 and 3?
Another look at it here from a different angle. And from there, it looks like it was on the line. The initial call was that it was out.
It certainly does. And if this ball is called in, what a response from Kinsey Korber after diving into the chairs. 2 big kills from the junior outside hitter in that trip across the front row. And she's not done yet, still in right front with the opportunity to score a few more for the Utes.
So Utah with the point, even at 2 apiece, and Beth Lanier in her 30th season. This year's Pac-12 Coach of the Year, Pacific South Region Coach of the Year, has seen success with her groups before, but this one could mean so much more, seeking their first ever regional final appearance. Adriana Fitzmorris kills it. Only the 4th time that Stanford has gone to a 5th set this season.
Remember, it's Utah who's 6 and 6 in 5th sets. Yes, folks, that's correct. 12 5-setters. Points comes quick, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Switch sides once the team reaches 8 points. It's Morris dug out there by Yekaha. And Torres, and there's both the overlap.
The defense was lacking in sets 2 and 3 for Utah. In set 4, they found their block. In set 5, can they find the dig yet with a huge one out of the back row?
Kerber, who we saw go down, continues to power and will her team on the serve. There's Dorman, the set for Drews, right to Hintz. Fitzmorris blocked, and it drops out of bounds. Point Stanford, even at 4.
So many options for Stanford, and they all are so disciplined in getting themselves in a position to take a swing at the ball. When it's a good pass, you've literally got 4 attackers, including Catherine Plummer, out of the back row, working hard in transition off the net to be prepared to take a good swing at the ball.
Drews gets the drop. Remember, Drews started out so hot, had 9 kills in that first set for Utah. She continues to lead the way with 17 for her team. By McClure. Weatherington takes a rip, kept alive, and it drops.
And this is where this match could be won or lost. With these rotations where neither Korber or Drews is in the front row, a lot of pressure on these attackers from Utah.
Stanford.
Both Plummer and Formico here in this short and 5th set, missing those serves. And is the Cardinal feeling the pressure, the defending champ? Ellen Gates didn't feel any pressure. She's not herself tonight.
Pushes it over. Opportunity now for Catherine Plummer to take a swing instead, take something off of it.
Really nice touch here, and in this particular rotation, the weakest offensive rotation for Utah, if Catherine Plummer is going to tip a ball over, you got to make a play on it. Because when she swings, it's going to be a kill. If she gives you a tip opportunity, Utah has got to pick that up.
Weatherington, too strong. Stanford up by 2. We'll switch sides, and the Cardinal bringing their fans to their feet here from Maples Pavilion. During the break, Utah head coach Beth Lanier challenging whether there was a touch on that last point that was awarded to Stanford. And so in that time, she'll get a chance to have a talk with her team. Meanwhile, looking at that from that angle, it looked like Zoe Wetherington just hit it over the block and out of bounds. No touch. The ball stands on the floor. So 8-6 as the teams swap sides.
An interesting challenge in that if the point would have been awarded to Utah, would the teams had to go back to their original side of the net, as no one would have been to 8 points yet. And of course you switch sides at 8 points. The name of her game, and again, this is the rotation where this match could be won or lost. Drews, Kerber, both in the back row, front row setter for Utah with only 2 attackers. This is a tough rotation.
The winner of this one will go on to play Penn State tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern here on ESPN. Drews. Big swing at the back row, handled by Hintz. There's Catherine Plummer down the ball.
Absolutely understands how important this rotation is to keep their foot on the gas, score points right now.
4 straight points from the Cardinals. Drews again out of the back row. There's Formico. Gray to Plummer. 27 kills tonight for the 3-time All-American Catherine Plummer. Missing all Catherine Plummer and this Stanford Cardinal team has done is capitalize. Plummer has been the one who's out in the forefront.
I'll tell you, certainly in the forefront when she has 27 kills on the evening. Turn sets 2 and 3 into an outside hitting clinic. Here she comes in set 4. We just talked about big moments a moment ago in this big 5th set. Who are you going to go to? Of course, Catherine Plummer, and she produces.
Numbers tonight are impressive. They have a video game for volleyball.
Yeah.
You'll be like, wow, those numbers just completely jump off the screen for you.
To be hitting over 429 when you are just 1 attempt away from 50. That tells you just how efficient she is.
Utah has to break this 5-0 run. More importantly, as you said, Missy, they've got to get out of this rotation. Can Danny Drews and Kinsey Kerber will their team back in this match?
It's going to be tough in this rotation. This is the rotation they have struggled in every set where Stanford has been able to make a move. They keep setting Danny Drews out of the back row. Stanford doing a tremendous job of getting 3 blockers up on her and just making it so hard for her to end a rally.
Stanford is already down Utah twice during the regular season. How difficult it will be to try to beat a team a 3rd time in a season. And Zoe Wetherington connected, gets the kill. They rotate.
Smile from the freshman. That had to feel good. They needed that one.
Right there. Drews off the top of the net, bounces beautifully on the side.
Again, 3 blockers for Stanford as you see the respect they have for that Danny Drews backcourt attack.
Gets the point, trailing by 3.
Dorman with the wise decision to let it sail. now things are looking a little differently for Utah as you take a look up at the net, and here come Drews and Kerber.
Tough serve, yeah, touches the top of the tape. Good opportunity to attack, just tough angle to play, and somehow Drews able to help her team get a point.
Absolutely looked like a missed opportunity, as I didn't even think Drews was going to get that ball over the net, and somehow she gets it to fall. And Phoebe Grace, 19 in red, making her mark on this match, has not been asked to do a lot offensively for Utah. They don't depend on her offensively, but no bigger block than that one right there.
What an effort by both she and Kinsey Kerber on that right side. For as much as we talked about the Stanford block, they got 21 team blocks, 8 for Utah, but they have come pivotal and critical moments for the Utes.
Yeah, the Utah block that finally came alive in that fourth set. And I don't think any of the fourth set equal to one that we just saw right there, but it's something that's come late in the match, something they've really had to work for. When you compare it to the 21 blocks for Stanford, 8 seems pretty meager, but I tell you, if they come at the right moment late in the match, they can be all the more meaningful.
It's the first 15 and win by 2. The winner of this match will advance to the regional final to face off against the 11th seed Penn State Nittany Lions tomorrow at 10 o'clock here from Naples Pavilion on ESPN2. ESPNU, excuse me. Missy Whittemore and myself will be here. We hope you will too.
Utah has stayed the course. This is a team who just won't go away. Remember, no one has hit over 300 on Utah all season. Right now, Stanford hitting 290. Very interesting.
Out of that timeout, and Catherine Palmer made an All-American type swing here.
Beautiful pass. Gives Stanford every option, and when they have every option, there's just too many.
Mentioned Stanford, who hasn't lost since October 25th against UCLA. They were without Catherine Plummer. They have since won 13 straight. Kerber, season drop.
Yet, out of the back row, Tiffany Yet. Her back row player, she just played a few rotations across the front row tonight. They've never sent her out of the back row purposefully. That time out of necessity. What a kill.
Punch over, Oblak sends it back. Plummer gets another good hack at it, pushes it out of play.
Wow, off the shoulder of Dorman there. She wanted that one.
Elite level volleyball from 2 Pac-12 teams. Floor to Yet, she is there. Kerber comes right back, kept alive. Free ball opportunity. Hence, Gray, McClure. Soft touch, match, point, Stanford. You couldn't ask for anything better. And Kevin Hammer, he's got to be enjoying this one right here, right?
The reaction of Coach Hamley sort of says it all. He just puts his hand on his face like, I can't believe this. What I can believe is that it's the finesse of Megan McClure that gets them to match point. That is all her game right there. That's who she is, coming through in the big moments with the soft touch, the finesse play. Amazing.
Stanford has been in every NCAA tournament, 39th consecutive appearance. 8 national championships. This senior class wanting to make their mark. They're vying for a 9th, but they've got to get past a very feisty Utah team, and they are 1 point away from doing so. Utah has their season on the line in this 5th set. What efforts we've seen. The heart, the hustle. Catherine Plummer with the serve. Drew smacks it. Plummer keeps it alive. Answered! Stanford is heading to the regional final! And a hug and say great job to Beth Lanier and her coaching staff, as Utah did an amazing job to hang in there to push it to a 5th set. But 4 consecutive regional final appearances. Catherine Plummer led the way with 29 kills, hitting .389, 10 digs, 7 blocks, all-around effort from the Cardinal. They will face off against a very familiar opponent in the Penn State Nittany Lions in a rematch of last year's regional final. These are the Pac-12 champions for a 3rd season in a row. And no stranger to this NCAA tournament. The regional final stage, Kevin Hambley sees his team take down Utah. What an effort from Morgan Hintz, Megan McClure, Adriana Fitzmaurice, and company. And the one who led the way for Stanford is Catherine Plummer. She's standing by with our Missy Whittemore.
Catherine, congratulations. What an exciting way to finish your career here at Maple as it comes down to 5 sets against a very familiar foe. You know, the margin of error was small in that 5th set. How hard was it to beat a good team 3 times?
Yeah, you always hear the saying, like, it's really hard to beat a good team 3 times. And Utah is one of those teams. Each time we played them, it was really tough to beat them. Here at Maples, they had 2 match points the first time. And then back in Salt Lake, it was a battle. And tonight was definitely a battle. And you kind of just know each other's tendencies, so it's like a head-to-head battle the whole night. And yeah, we came out on top, but it was definitely a battle.
You said earlier this week that you couldn't make the moment bigger than it is as you guys go for the 3 out of 4, for the 2nd chance at a repeat. How did you guys come into this and handle your emotions so well? Because you certainly didn't look rattled in those big moments.
Yeah, I think just executing play after play. In that 4th set, I think we did make it bigger than it was. Like, we saw that we were down and we started to pull away as a team. And then that 5th set, we just stayed together as a cohesive unit. And I think when we play together as a team, we're really hard to beat.
It's been a pleasure to watch you here at Maples. Catherine, good luck.
Thank you so much.
We've also got Coach Hambley with us as well, and we're going to take a second to talk to him. And Coach, the foreshadowing of this one, as you compared it to an NBA final, you said that you guys would know each other so well it would come down to execution. Talk about the execution in the 5th set from that group.
I mean, I think we the set between the third and the fourth set, we talked about, hey, like they're going to fight hard. The season's almost over, and we got to out-execute this team, and we didn't do a nice job of that at all. I think we really struggled to pass, and we just were out of sorts. And so for them to turn that around after being in that position, I thought was great. And we finally stopped Drews there a couple times at the end, and she's such a great player. We got to see her again next year, which is, I'm not looking forward to dealing with those guys, but I think the team executed at a real high level when it was needed most, and that's what this team's about. That's what especially the seniors are about.
Talk about the score discrepancies in those sets where it was so lopsided. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I think when teams know each other this well, if you start to dial it in a little bit, and then especially if you get them in trouble out of system, you can kind of run points, and both teams could do that. I just think you just saw them execute. They executed at a really high level against us in that fourth set, and we did the same in the second and third set. I think that's what happens in these games. You expect all these sets to be tight, but they had our number, and we had their number in a couple of those sets as well.
You scheduled tough to secure that you'd have this home court, and now you're going to get a chance at Penn State on your home court, another big one tomorrow night. Preview that one for us.
It's going to be rough. They had 500 in 4 of those sets, so we got a lot of work cut out for us, but they're a great team. That's what we did last year. We had to play them last year to get to the Final Four, so two of the best programs in the country. It's pretty going to be fun. It'll be a nice battle.
We're expecting it. Thanks, Coach, and good luck.
Well, Coach Hambly set the stage for tomorrow's regional final here from Maples Pavilion. It'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU. This one was fun for Missy Whittemore and our entire crew. I'm Tiffany Green saying so long as Stanford wins a thriller in 5 sets to advance.